You're listening to New Dream with Reem.
Hello everyone, New Dream with Reem is back to you, and I am here excited to talk today about trust. We started our podcast talking about love, following with intuition, and now trust. I thought about talking about trust since it is the main aspect for you to start manifesting. When they ask us to learn how to manifest and to be the creator of our life, after teaching us all the methods and all the steps that we need to take for us to start our manifestation, they ended it always with the piece of trust. Now I'm going to do it the opposite way. We'll start with trusting, building the trust between us and the universe, and then we'll take it from there and start our manifestation or creating our future or our reality. So I don't know if you want to call it trust or faith or maybe believing system. Believing system, I don't really know. You can call it whatever you want, but for now, I am going to use trust as a word and as a term that we'll be using in these stories that we'll be sharing, as well as I do like to refer to God as a universe. I don't really like to limit God in one word because for me, God is in everywhere and everything. So when I say the universe is playing with me or the universe is testing me, I am referring in a way to God because He is the source of everything. So the universe is part of God. That's why I will be using God in some of my stories. So let's see. Why did I as well use the trust as a very important piece for manifestation? Because if you wanna try working on any creation, before anything, just a trust where you are. A trust that whatever is going on right now, this is the right thing. So just to stop, look around, analyze your life with trust and knowing that this is the right thing for you. I know sometimes when our life is a disaster, or is not the way that we wanted and it's not the way that we dreamt of, it is totally okay. Just to trust that where you are is the right spot, the right place, and more one thing that this is an old reality. This is now not the reality that you are going to be creating because you are right now, it's an idea or a project or a manifestation that you worked on sometime in the past and now it's becoming a reality, but going forward it's a different reality that you need to start working from now to create your future. So it's the best thing for you to start creating your future, to trust where you are right now. This is what you deserve. Whether it was good or bad, this is the reality that you live in. It's a past reality, as I mentioned, and you are totally okay with it. Just accept it. Look around you and know it is okay to be where you are right now. Love it, take it in, and enjoy it. So today I'll be sharing two stories that happened with me, and after I'm done of these two stories, I will tell you the gifts and the lessons that I gained out of these two stories. Now, again, if I use gift, I use it usually instead of lesson because this is the gift that I gained out of the challenge that I went through. And I do really appreciate these gifts so much. And when I use gift, it does really give it a higher vibration instead of using the lesson word. They both have a different vibration, and I will be talking about these vibrations to the words in the future, not in this episode. So, one time I was traveling to Arizona and I was sitting in this flight in the middle of my daughter, my youngest daughter. She was sitting to my right, which is by the window. And another lady that I don't really know her, she was sitting next to me to the left side on the aisle seat, and I'm in the middle. And there's another passenger that was on the airplane as well. He's sitting on the aisle next to the lady that is sitting by my side, to the left side. So imagine with me. I'm in the middle. My daughter is on the right side, sitting by the window. Another lady is sitting to my left side at the aisle seat, on the aisle seat, and another guy is sitting on the aisle seat from the other side, besides this lady. Of course, I was traveling with the whole family, but it happened that they did not find a seat for us all together to be sitting with each other, so they just put us randomly. And since my youngest is by herself, they had to figure out a seat for me with her. Anyway, this is not our story. I was in the airplane going to Arizona, heading to Arizona, and this guy who was sitting by this lady, he started a conversation with her. And he was telling her, "Oh, do you like flying? How do you feel about flying?" And she was like, "Yeah, I enjoy flying." And he started saying and expressing his feeling towards flying, that he is so scared and he is really worried about flying from here to Arizona, well, from Washington to Arizona. And she was trying to calm him down and telling him, "It's okay, you're gonna be okay." And I was sitting in, next to her, so I was hearing all this conversation that is happening between this lady and this young guy. He was like maybe in his 20s. So he was like, "Yeah, but what if something happened to us while we are flying?" She was like, "Don't worry, we're gonna be okay." And of course, me listening to this, I'm aware of the vibrations, and I'm aware now that his vibration is affecting the whole flight. Believe it or not, it does. We all affect each other. So I'm like, okay, he is scared of flying. And I kept, just listening to this conversation. He started to go into the panicking now phase. He's like, "But I'm really scared." And he kept telling her and expressing his feeling to this lady until this lady started to have this. I wouldn't say that she started to get scared, but she started to have some kind of emotions that she's not safe as well. So she asked him actually, she's like, "Just stop talking about this. I'm scared right now." I'm like, "Great. Both of them are scared." When my youngest daughter, she looked at me and she was like, Mom, when are we gonna fall down?" I'm like, "You're kidding me now. I'm surrounded with people that are expecting for us to fall down in this airplane." I'm like, "Oh my God, what can I do?" I knew I'm limited, but there's a God and there's the universe out there. So I closed my eyes and I'm like, "Okay, God, I don't know what to do. This guy, he's really scared and he's affecting everyone around him." I started sending love to him, but still he was talking to this lady and I'm like, "Oh my God, what can I do? I have to calm him down, but it's not my business. I cannot do anything about it." But I know he's affecting the whole flight. So again, I closed my eyes, I took it in, and then I told the universe, I'm like, "Okay, seriously, I don't know what to do. This guy, he's really scared. Please take care of it. I'm not going to ask for a specific answer. All what I'm asking for us to arrive safe and sound to Arizona." Sure enough, after maybe 5, 10 minutes, I stopped hearing his voice because I started, talking to my daughter. I wanted to distract her from all her thoughts because she was listening to the guy and what he was telling to this lady. So all of a sudden, I stopped hearing his voice. I looked at his seat, and you're not going to believe this. He slept. He was sleeping, and he slept the whole entire trip. So I'm like, whew. Oh my God, I just can't believe that. After all what he did, he just went to sleep. I did not really care, but I knew now his vibe is so much calmer and he's more relaxed. That's why he was able to go to sleep. We arrived to Arizona safe and sound. Everything was just perfect. I did not really think about it that much. All what I cared about back then that I am here. I'm in Arizona on the ground. So it happened, my husband, he was sitting in front of him. So when he woke up, he stood up and he looked at my husband. So the universe now wanted me to know that I had to do with this, with him going to sleep. And he told my husband something. I didn't know what did he tell him, but he told him something. So once we stepped out of the airplane, of course, my husband, he didn't know what was going on from our end. And I asked him, I was like, okay, what did this guy tell you? Because I saw him was talking to you. He's like, yeah, nothing. He was just telling me that he didn't really know how did he sleep. That was the best trip ever for him. Usually he cannot go to sleep, yet he slept the whole trip. And he was so happy about it. I'm like, oh my God, you know Omar, what happened? This is exactly what happened. So I told him one, two, three. He was like, that is really interesting. And I looked at Omar and I told him, you know what? The universe wanted me to know that I had to do with this. I asked and I received what I asked for. This is the first story. Now, my second story, it happened again to be in the airplane, and that was just before the quarantine took place. We were back from Mexico, and we were coming from, we had stopped in Portland, and we were coming from Portland to Seattle when the pilot came out of the cabin, and he was like, "Okay, we're not gonna be serving you anything. There's gonna be a really serious turbulence, so please, no one moves, and we'll try to arrive to Seattle safe and sound." Usually, when I get now on the airplane after having the app, Pantageya app, I will just go, I will sign in and I will create a vibe asking everyone to pray for me and to send me their good vibes for me to arrive to Seattle safe and sound, which is I did. After what he said, I'm like, okay, let me just create this prayer real quick. So I went into Pantageya, I created the vibe, and then I sat back and I was like, okay, I created the vibe. I feel confident that we're gonna arrive safe and sound. And we arrived to Seattle, and I was so calm the whole trip. I'm like, the pilot kept saying that we're gonna have a really bad turbulence. Actually, it was okay. It wasn't even bad. And let me tell you something about myself. I used to be really, really bad. I used to have a phobia from traveling and from turbulence. But after understanding the vibrations and how to communicate with the wind and the air around us, I feel so comfortable and I do trust the universe. When I ask the universe to take care of me, it's gonna take care of me. So I felt so safe the whole trip. We arrived and I looked at Omar. I'm like, oh my God, that was such a good trip. When my girls, they jumped and they were like, oh my God, that was so scary. It was so, the turbulence was so strong. And I'm like, what turbulence are you talking about? There wasn't any turbulence. I felt so good. And usually I'm a kind of person that really scared from turbulence, but I did not feel anything. And Omar looked at me and he was like, Reem, you're kidding me, right? I'm like, no, Omar, seriously, I did not feel anything. He was like, Reem, it was really scary. The turbulence were really strong. Usually my girls, they will sleep when there's a turbulence. They just enjoy it. They were like, Mom, you're kidding. It was so scary. The turbulence was not normal. I'm like, really? I did not even feel it. Of course, I kept thinking about it. What did happen? Why didn't I feel it? Yet they all felt it. What was going on? When it hit me, I created my own reality. You can be in the same place, the same situation, having different realities. This is not something, by the way, abnormal or something that you cannot really experience. And I'm sure every one of us did really experience it. We go through the same situation. One of you will create an emotion and the other person wouldn't create the same emotion because we are creating different realities. So, looking back at these two stories, what did I get out of them? What was my gift that I received from these two challenges? It was few things. First, not to expect any outcome. I did not really put any outcome. I did not ask the universe for this guy to sleep. It surprised me with the answer. And I did not ask the universe for me not to feel the turbulence. I just simply did not feel it. I did not put out any expectations. The second thing is trust that the answer will come and someone is listening and will be providing you with an answer. And it has to be unexpected way. The third one, anchoring my faith with trusting the God inside me. I did really trust that, and I do have the faith that God is always, and the universe is always taking care of me. All what I have to do is just to ask, not to stop asking and to keep believing in them. And fourth, enjoying my challenge. Now, every single challenge I go through, I look at it from a different lens. I enjoy it and I trust that the universe is keeping my back. Now we came till the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed both stories and you did receive a gift out of them the way I did while I was talking about them and sharing with you my stories. Up till next time, we'll be receiving from the universe our fourth episode. I'm not sure what I will be talking about, but until then, you be aware that you are loved, you are safe, and you are the creator. Lots of love from my heart to yours. Ciao.
This has been New Dream with Reem. Thank you for listening.